Welcome to the NHL Ice Guys for Saturday, October 28th. I'm Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review. Before we begin, let's remind all our viewers, sportsbookreview.com. Check it out every single day for live odds, free picks, free articles there, which Dana contributes to on a daily basis, sportsbook rating guide. Check out the links below this YouTube video. And make sure you give us a thumbs up if you like the content and you like the show. Use the resources at your disposal. It'll make you a smarter and better sports bettor at sportsbookreview.com. I've got my Ice Guys back with me, Dana Lane, Andrew McInnis, and Alex B. Smith, ready to go here on this Saturday. You know, we're loyal. We get these Saturday shows cranked out. Who the hell cares if it's the weekend? We're talking hockey because Saturday's always a loaded slate. Everybody's working for the weekend, and we're doing that here at the NHL Ice Guys. Alex B. Smith, how are you today?
Doing pretty good. Like I said, it's it's early everywhere. Obviously Dana's got the earliest of times, but it's going to be a long Saturday. A lot of great sports. We got hockey, we got World Series, we got football. But like I said, just this is what we live for, these big days, and hopefully we get some big winners as well.
Absolutely. Andrew, how are you on this Saturday?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Alex on that one. I mean, if you don't like Saturdays, you don't really like this industry. So it's going to be another great day, and hope for a good weekend of sports, guys.
And you know what's funny? Dana Lane, as we bring it to him, the man from Las Vegas, here's everybody saying for the Golden Knights going into yesterday. Bad spot. There's about the end of the homestand here. Yeah. Colorado looking ahead to the road trip coming up. No matter whatsoever, they absolutely kicked the freaking shit out of the Colorado Avalanche. 7-0. Blow them off the ice. Make them look like a little peewee hockey team. Unbelievable. The Vegas run continues, and Dana Lane is loving it.
Yeah, you have about 9 bad spots so far for the Vegas Golden Knights, and 8 of those where they cashed you tickets. In fact, if you bet $100 on the Golden Knights every game this year, you would be just under $1,000 right now in profit. And I also want to thank you, Ian, for your Mike Reno impression at 6 a.m. in the morning. If we could get more of that, I'd be extremely happy.
All right, I will do my best to make that happen. Make that a reality, because I know
it's always about Canada, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The old karaoke, Ian Cameron karaoke bits. A lot of people have enjoyed those. Some have not, but that's another story. But yeah, I mean, great win again for Vegas. I mean, everybody's just waiting for this team to trip up. It was Nevada Day yesterday. Are they really going to lose on home ice on Nevada Day? Come on, it was not going to happen. And Vegas got the job done convincingly over the Colorado Avalanche. That road trip's going to be fun. I mean, my eyes are going to be glued on that Vegas road trip, because I think they're at the point now where if they finish that road trip at 6 games, I believe 3-3, or even just 2-4, that's great. That means this team's probably going to be in this little playoff dogfight for a lot longer to come if they can manage even just a 500 road trip coming up. So that's going to be a fascinating one to watch without a doubt. Let's get to the Saturday card now. As always, it's Saturday. It means there's a lot of games to break down, including the first one, which is a early start game, matinee affair in Buffalo. Rotation 1-2, San Jose taking on Buffalo Sabres. A home underdog here, about +115, +110 in that range. San Jose laying -130, total 5.5, about -125, shaded to the under. And Dana thinking about getting involved from a betting standpoint in this game. Dana, what are you looking at for early start action here in the Below?
Yeah, I like to make my money early and get on with it so I can watch more CFL as the day goes on. It's reasonable to think that the Sharks might be a little lethargic on the final day of their five-game road trip. In fact, they've been on the road for almost 10 days during this road trip. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, look, if you're trying to get inside the heads of these guys, I think it's they want to win for sure, but it's definitely on to getting on home as quickly as we can, where they're going to play their next 4 games against playoff teams. So I'm not sure how focused they are about getting up for the Buffalo Sabres as much as they are about getting home and focusing on the games that are coming up. When I bet overs, I always want to make sure that I'm not going to get buried by a bunch of special team goals. I look at both teams and I say, or totals. I look at both teams and I say, look, if I bet the under in this matchup, do I have a reasonable plan here that we're not going to get 2 or 3 power play goals that's going to kill me, where I handicapped the 5-on-5 correctly. And obviously, with Buffalo ranked 27th in the league right now in power play goals, converting just 13.5% of all their opportunities, I don't think I'm going to get that with the Sabres. And the Sabres are much better at over 20% on the power play, but it's a 5-on-5 where I feel like I'm good. Okay, so I have both two of these teams that I think are pretty lethargic offensively in different areas. One with Buffalo in the power play, and obviously on 5-on-5 as well. And then San Jose with the 5-on-5, although that they are good in the power play. So if I'm Buffalo, it's pretty easy. Keep them out of the box, or keep myself out of the box. Listening to Phil Housley, it was clear that he was not happy with the Sabres transition defense against Columbus. I think there's going to be a focus on that today. It just smells like a much more of a defensive game, and I expect them to return to more of the form as they did against Detroit than they did last time out. The Sharks are 5-2-1 on an under streak, so we got that going for us as well. I'm really on totals a lot more today. I can't pull the trigger on sides. I do have one side, but we're going to go under minus $1.19. I think it is at Pinnacle, under 5.5 between the Sharks and Buffalo.
I think it makes a lot of sense because I think Alex and we were talking about this before we came on air. Buffalo's been a good under team in these early start games on the weekends, and it looks like this is a good situation, especially coming off the Columbus game. They were pretty, let's be honest, they were shredded defensively in that game by the Blue Jackets. Good for me. I had Blue Jackets puck line in that game, which was a good spot, as Buffalo played the night before against Detroit. So that one ended up working out real well. But yeah, and you worry about San Jose, last game of this road trip for them. Do they bring it to their fullest? That remains to be seen, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of performance we get here tonight, or this afternoon rather, from San Jose in this kind of spot. How about Jason Pominville, 11 points, tied for the team lead in points? I mean, this guy just back in Buffalo, that's where he plays his best hockey. I mean, I thought he was, up and down, erratic in Minnesota, but get him in Buffalo, he's back to the, as Rick Jenneret says, the population of Pominville just keeps on climbing, and that's one of those situations.
Okay, well, we'll wait for him to get back. Yep. But he's 100% correct on that, Alex, about Jason Pominville. I mean, he's a guy who has pretty good vision on the ice. He's pretty offensively creative. And I think another probably an adjustment in his scenery probably helped him out. 11 points at 11 games. Plus, more importantly, I love to look at these guys plus minus. I think when I rate a player, I'll take what they're doing offensively and then take the plus minus as well and either add or subtract from their point total and then divide it by the amount of games played. And then that's how I get a true points per game. I don't know how you guys do it, but Pominville, 11 points on 11 games plus 3, has had a fantastic season so far for the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, I mean, like you said, Dana, a couple weeks ago on the show, looking at this game being an early game, you do just, when you're handicapping, have to think about just the mentality of players. And you hit it right on the nail a couple weeks ago when you said, players come to the arena, they're waking up earlier, their routines are different. They're having a different meal before their game. They're different places, different times. And, as silly as it sounds, as goofy as it sounds, it just kind of throws players off. And I don't think they get into the zone until about 10 minutes into the first period. So, for that first 10, 15 minutes, even in the game, I think it's a lot more of a feeling out process. And the players aren't as fired up as they would be if it was like an 8 p.m. game or a 7 p.m. game, a nighttime game where they're just used to playing like any other regular night. So I think unders are just automatically pushed and a better play for early start games.
Yeah, I would agree with that too, especially, and you look at a team like Buffalo. They're one of those East Coast teams that play a lot of these early, Saturday games. That's what me and Ian were talking about before we went on air, and it seems like these games start really slow. Sometimes the whole game can be really slow, and like you said, kind of trend to the under. So, Dana, I'm right there with you on that underplay, but I think even a first period under might be something to possibly look at as well. So I think this would be a pretty slow game throughout.
Okay, well, somebody unplugged Ian, so I guess what we'll do is we will smoothly transition into the next game, which is 13 and 14 between the Rangers and Montreal, and then when Ian comes back, we'll tell him how much we missed him and let him take
Ian
over.
is back. Yes.
All right. Thank God. Thank goodness. Because Alex
Cable, you suck. You're brutal.
Yeah, because Alex was just telling me how much better it is now, and it's I just wanted to make sure that we weren't saying things behind your back. So go right ahead, Mr. Ian Cameron.
Right. Yeah, we won't get into that. Actually, they're better than Rogers at least. At least Rogers doesn't gouge their customers for crap ass Blue Jay baseball and put a tax on their cable bill for it. But that's another story. What are we at? What game are we at here?
Hey, the Golden Knights put a tax to see their games on Cox Cable.
All right, there you go.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, at least their games are on. And I said that was ridiculous. That was an outrage. It took them that long to get that deal done, but at least it did. We're at Anaheim, Tampa, I assume, correct?
We just had finished up with my first play, and we were kind of just headed into the Rangers Montreal 13 and 14.
Oh, okay. Rangers Montreal. Where's that? Oh, that's way down there. Oh my goodness, way down there.
Well, according to SBR odds page, it's 13-14. So we just started out with my first play, and so you can pick it up from there.
All right, excellent. Yeah, Anaheim Tampa. I'm not going to be involved in this game anyway. 5.5. Anyone have anything on that game, or we'll move on?
Nah.
That's what I thought. I'm not going against Tampa, that's for sure, but that's not the price I'm looking to bet on them in. LA Boston 5-6.
Sorry, Ian, but Anaheim Tampa. I'm actually looking for the puck line on that one. I think it's worth taking the puck line on it. I think this game's going to be all bolts. I think the Ducks have actually showed more than what we've expected to see from them this season. But with the firepower of the Bolts and the way they've treated me on Saturday nights so far this season, I like their firepower. I like the way they're putting the puck in the back of the net, but I also like the way that their defensemen are playing. This is talk about a transition team. We've been using that word a couple times tonight already. And, this team is a team that with now Sergachev in the back line, I think they move the puck so smoothly. One of the top teams at doing it in the league of going from defense to offense. And, with those players like Tyler Johnson, Stamkos, Kucherov, they move the puck up the ice pretty fast. And I think this play, like